Hi everyone, my name is Didi. Welcome to this Fallout 4 video where I'm going to talk to you about my recommended sniper build. Now this is the build that you should be doing straight out at the start of the game when you're filling in your registration form, which I've got on the screen here. What points you should choose, therefore what perks you're going to open up. Sniping is a really rewarding and massively challenging part of Fallout 4. It's rewarding because you can completely own people if your stealth is right, if you're sniping from a distance in a great location. But you can shoot people from miles away, never get detected, no one challenges you. It's awesome. However, you're also really vulnerable because you don't have strength, you don't have the endurance to be really going for a toe-to-toe fight with anyone. If you get detected and mobbed, generally you're going to get pwned. So let's talk about which points I would choose out of the 21 you've got available in the registration form. And then I said, after I've shown you, picked them, show you why, let's go to the perk form. So perception is the first one, and perception is going to give you your environmental awareness and sixth sense. So that's sort of you being able to see and detect enemies and how good you are at it. Equally, your accuracy of weapon in VATS is really important because in VATS you're able to slow down time, pick your shots, pick your weapons, exactly what a sniper needs. So for me, right from the start, and bear in mind as you go through the game you will level these up, you will find bobbleheads that are going to give you bonuses to this. So this is just a starting build, but you want to unlock the best things that are going to help you rather than waste points in the long run. So for me, you could argue that you could probably go all the way up to 10 with perception because as a sniper you need a load of it, but I'm going to go for 8 and I'll explain why when we get to the perks. I've skipped strength, and that's because that's how much damage of melee attacks you do and how much you can carry, so I've ignored that. Endurance is pretty much the same because this is how much health you have and how much action points drain from sprinting. You're not sprinting anywhere. Hopefully you'll never get attacked by anybody because you're shooting people from so far away. Therefore, you don't need a lot of health. Possibly do in the future, but not from the start. Charisma, again, doesn't help you snipe, so I'm leaving it at 1. Intelligence, you do need a little bit of intelligence, and I'll explain why when we look at the perk chart, so I'm going to knock it up to 3. Agility is the measure of how many action points you have in VATS and your ability to sneak. So you need a lot of action points in VATS so you can snipe people from a lot of distance and far off, lots and lots of shots in VATS, and your ability to sneak is how well or not you're going to be detected. Therefore, I'm going to put a lot in agility. That's up to 7, and again, I'll explain why when we look at the perk chart. And finally, luck. General fortune, and also affects the recharge rate of critical hits. Now, critical hits is quite a new thing for Fallout 4, and yet it is really good. So it can be really powerful for a sniper critical hit. So I'm also going to knock this up to 7 as well. And this is my started recommending build. 8, 3, 7, and 7 for perception, intelligence, agility, and luck. Everything else remaining at 1. I obviously would recommend that you start to spend points in things like strength and endurance and charisma when you are playing through the game. But to start with, this is going to enable you to choose the perks that you should be choosing. That said, let's go and have a look at the perk form. So here's the perk chart. Now, if we look through strength really quickly, you'll notice that there's no direct perk that's actually going to really help you be a better sniper. So there's lots of details with regards to heavy weapons, creating better melee weapons, or just outputting more melee damage. That's why I've ignored it. You probably do want strength so you can carry more equipment, but ultimately there's probably better ways to achieve it. Therefore, for me, I've left strength at 1 and probably wouldn't spend too much time on it. Perception, I've moved this up to 8, and what 8 is going to give you is this beautiful thing here. Sniper. It's obvious that you should choose this, right? It's all about focus. You have improved control and hold your breath longer when aiming down scopes. The interesting thing about this is that as you rank it up at level 13, for non-automatic scope rifles have a chance to knock down your target. Perfect, right? They're not going to be chasing or trying to find you if they're on the floor. Next one after that, you get a 25% increase in accuracy in VATS for headshots. Headshots is invariably where you're going to be shooting, so to have that bonus is awesome as well. So generally, you sniper, got to choose a sniper perk. That is at perception level 8. The reason I don't put any more in there is because at this point they're good, but they're not game changers. So penetrator, no place to hide in VATS. You can target an enemy body that are blocked by cover with a decrease in accuracy. So that's nice, it does boost up, so you get no decrease in accuracy if you take 2 points in it. But hopefully as a sniper you're going to pick and choose. You shouldn't need to actually shoot enemies behind cover. You probably want it when you've got a lot of perks and a lot of availability and a lot of points later in the game. Yes, I'd recommend you take this, but from the start I don't see it's necessary. Equally, with concentrated fire, this should be and is really good as well, that every attack on the same body part gains plus 10 accuracy. So this is really going to help. Plus 15 if you take another point in it, plus 20% accuracy, plus 20% more damage. That's great. Ideally though, with the sniper, you're taking out the enemy on the first shot. So having accuracy increase and damage increase for every subsequent shot isn't going to help you, because you should be poning them one shot, one kill. That is the sniper mantra, right? Okay, so therefore I've chosen it at level 8. Put lots of points into sniper when you're there. There isn't much else that's really relevant to you other than this one. Perk 2 is going to be filled out super, lots to do with it, because this is going to increase your damage output for your sniper rifles, non-automatic rifles. 20%, 40% and ignore 15% of armor, 6% and 20% of armor, 80% more damage, ignore 25% and cripple a limb potentially, and double damage, ignore 30% armor, and a really high chance of crippling a limb. So this is your default. If you don't know where to put your perk or open up a point, stick it in Rifleman, because this is going to increase your damage output, get you those one-shot kills, happy times. That's perception. You could almost argue that actually you could just leave it at level 2, but the reason it's so high is because you need to be able to detect the enemies earlier than they detect you. So you need a really high perception. I personally don't think that these two are really beneficial. There's other better places to put your points. That's why I've only chosen 8. Endurance, total health. Yes, you want to increase it over time to give you a bit more resilience, but depends how hard and how difficult you're finding the game. I've left it at 1 because hopefully you'll find bobbleheads and other ways of increasing your endurance without spending perks and special points right from the start. Charisma, it's the same story really. There's lots of beautiful things in Charisma, especially like Lone Wanderer, which is going to be good for a sniper because extra carry weight at 50 when you've got low endurance is perfect. This sort of thing, local leader is really good regardless of your playstyle, but I suspect that as you go through the game you might want to level it up slowly, but bear in mind it's not going to directly help you snipe enemies. Intelligence, I said to put 3 points in here. That's because you get Gun Nut. Gun Nut is going to give you the ability to improve your guns, and the more points you get in it, the more mods, better ranked mods that you can access to improve your guns. Without a doubt in my mind, you need to be able to improve your weapons to be the optimum they possibly can be. If you've got a really rubbish sniper rifle, there's no way you're going to be a good sniper. So you need to attach the best scopes, the best barrels, the best stocks, all those sort of good things in order to make your sniping the highest potential output and damage. You can turn in Fallout 4, you can turn a really simple pistol into an absolutely insane sniper rifle, and that's by using Gun Nut. So that's why I've chosen 3. There's nothing really else in here that's a direct benefit to a sniper. There's certainly things that you might want to have, like Science and Scrapper are definitely helpful, but at a minimum, at the start of the game, rank 3, Gun Nut, makes you be able to put scopes on things and just, yeah, opens up the world of guns to you. Agility is also really important, and that's why I've put 7 in there. Now, this affects the total number of action points in VATS, so it affects how many shots you're going to get off in VATS before you run out, and affects your ability to sneak, and a sneak is going to be really important. So I've put it up to 7. That's going to give you access to Ninja, so your ranged sneak attacks and I've got 2 points in this, but it does 2.5 normal damage to begin with instead of just 2. Add another point 3 and another point 3.5. So again, as I said earlier, you want to be able to do one-shot kills, so the highest damage output you can do from your ranged sneak attacks is really important. There are sort of, I mean, I haven't put a level up to level 10 because this is around 25% more damage to every second VATS target beyond. As I said, hopefully you are doing one-shot kills, although you can line up multiple targets in VATS, shoot them all in the head, pew, 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 pew. That might be fantastic. I don't think you're going to be in the position right at the start of the game to have your accuracy so good that you're going to be capping 3 people in the heads from distance straight away. But it's something to aim for, without a doubt. Blitz is melee. Quick hands is about reload. Hopefully your magazine's big enough to get you that reload going anyway. But other than just ninja and having access to that from the start, you've also got sneak. So this is going to be important. 20% harder to detect while sneaking. Now, while you're in the kind of buildings and things like that, close combat, being able to sneak and snipe people in the head with silenced weapons is going to be really helpful to you because you don't have the endurance. So over time, equally, you'll be able to or want to put more points in this. As your perception is so good and your sneak will be really high, you'll definitely be able to choose and pick the engagement. When you want to shoot, when you don't want to shoot. If you need to move around to find a different position to get the best shot, sneak is being able to get that for you. It's only level 3, but that's something you're going to want to put points in. Equally, these two, commando and gunslinger, is sort of a secondary thing. You might find actually non-automatic pistols is really good for those close combat situations we talked about, but I suspect there's going to be a lot of things you want to put your points in. Depends what kind of game style, what kind of character you want to create. Now this one's a little bit controversial, so I've put 7 in luck, and I guess this is probably the ones that if you wanted to put more points in strength or just have a couple in endurance or a couple in strength, this might be one that you want to reduce. But I've put it up to 7 because it's going to give you access to this, critical banker. You're a patient battlefield tactician, you can save a critical hit most. Now I've found critical hits obviously increases your damage output massively, so you also get 2 critical hits if you put more in it and 3 critical hits if you put a third point in it. So those first time shots, those first time hits are gonna more likely to kill people straight away than not. Equally, you've got a higher chance to cause critical damage when you're in VATS because your luck is higher. And if you look back through these skill points, you've got better criticals, advanced training for combat effectiveness, criticals with 50% more damage, twice as much damage, 2.5 times as much damage at luck at level 6. You've got bloody mess, 5% more damage. So again, you're going to be doing more, 10%, 15%. Enemy explodes, nearby enemies will suffer the same fate. That is all of these up here. So the level 3, the level 6 and 7 are going to help you cause more damage, which to me is absolutely insane, or really going to be helpful. Anything after that, yes, level 8 would be great. So you get, if you kill someone in VATS, you get a 15% chance to restore action points. That means that you can then go back into VATS and keep shooting people in VATS, and you're never out of VATS. You're just constantly sniping in VATS. Sounds awesome, right? And other than that, I think that's probably about it. But those are kind of things that you can tweak, optimize as you want to. Maybe having a level 8 skill point might be helpful to you. Okay, so that's my roundup. That's what I'd start. Let me flip back to the special screen to show you the registration form, to show you which ones I've chosen again, just a reminder. Okay, so as a reminder, I would suggest you have Perception 8 because that's going to give you better environmental awareness, improve your accuracy with weapons in VATS, gives you access to the sniper perk straight away, which means you can get more breathing, better control, knocking down enemies, increased headshot accuracy in VATS, all the sort of things that you need to be an epic sniper. Intelligence, knock it up to 3 to give you access to gun nut, making sure that you can put scopes, better barrels, stocks, improve the caliber of your weapons, all the things that you need to maximize your guns to be the best they possibly can be. Agility 7, and that's all about ninja sneaks, or ranged sneak attacks, doing 2.5, 3 times damage. Really important to making sure that you do those one-shot kills. Also increases the number of points in VAT, so you can shoot more rounds at enemies before you're kind of having to fight real time with people. And finally, luck 7. As I said, this one's a little bit controversial. You might want to change it. I think being a lucky person out of the vault is going to be helpful. It means that you can spend your points in areas like strength, endurance, charisma as you go through the game. But if you wanted to knock it down and choose some other, maybe just put a couple and round your character out a little bit more, that would make sense to me, because it is all about perception and agility, and rounding your points does make sense. However, being able to get access at level 7 to this absolutely bonkers perk of critical banker, of being able to store up your critical hits, using them in VATs when you need them most, means that you spot the really big enemy, you know that shot you're going to fire is going to have a critical hit and absolutely take them down at the most possible damage you can do. So that's my recommended build. I hope you guys found that useful. I'd really appreciate it if you did, then you hit the like, and equally if you haven't subscribed, I recommend you do that, because there's loads more builds and tips videos on my channel. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys found it useful, as I said, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care now.